welcome back. Over the last 30 days, I feel like my life has changed so much. Like my trajectory and like who I'm becoming has changed a ton. And that's because I started taking action. And so, yeah, it's something a lot of people lack doing and they might not even realize. I didn't even realize. So, yeah, in this video, I'll basically tell you how to get over that and how to start taking action. And, maybe you'll find out if you have been or if you haven't. So basically, I have my notes here like always. And yeah, the first thing that happened is a month ago, I hired a coach. So his name's John Raccia from Alma La Vida. It's this coaching program. And he basically got me to start moving. He was like, all right, this week you got to earn $200 because I wasn't earning any money. And he's like, you got to earn $200. And I was like, fuck, all right. I don't know how the fuck to earn money because I haven't done it in like so long. So I basically started doing yard work. And yeah, but the thing that you realize is that having that stress of like, all right, I have to do this before this time, like just having that deadline actually kind of makes you feel good. Like it gives you sort of a purpose. And so that was like the first kind of like dawning on me, like, wow, my life is different all of a sudden. Yeah, and then but the cool thing about like yard work, like earning just $200 a week, is that it's pretty easy. Like, it's just like you go to your neighbor and you're like, hey, do you need any help with their lawn, your yard? And they're like, yeah, because everyone's yard is like, there's always stuff to do in a yard. And then let me see. Yeah, so I would do that, like, but $200, that would take me like a couple days if I was really if I was doing it like all the time. And so I would still end up doing like nothing basically. Like I had different things I was interested in, but I wasn't committed to anything really. So I wouldn't make a ton of progress. I would just be kind of like lounging around, like trying to like pretend that I'm working or fool my brain into working. But it wasn't really like making a lot of progress. It was just busy work. So last week, what changed is I decided to buy a course. And the funny thing about courses is like, I feel like there's some kind of view by like society where if you buy a course, you're like an idiot. You're like succumbing to some pyramid scheme or something. But a course is actually like, obviously, if you buy a course, it's from someone who like knows something that you don't. And they'll probably give you like a good way to make money or to get healthy or whatever the course is about. So I bought a web design course and I talked about it last week. And the reason this is important is because it marks a commitment. Like a course costs money, and that's great. If courses were free, like on YouTube, you can watch YouTube videos about starting a business all day for years, and nothing will come of it. But when you buy a course, I only paid $100. It's $100 for 12 months. But if you buy like $1,000 course, 2,000, whatever, 10,000, you're committed to that. Like you're fucking, the money's gone and you have to make it, like you got to get that return out. So then it's just up to you. And that's kind of like a really crucial thing, I think, to actually taking action, is kind of having like a commitment to it. So yeah, and also like I don't like doing yard work. I really want to move past that. So I'm basically like very motivated to do a ton of work for my business. But yeah, anyways, overall, I'm going to sum up what caused me to take action. And number one was the positive feedback loop. So when you do something like, if you're like fearful of like going for a run or whatever, working out, something like that, the moment you like do that first push-up or you do the first rep, it becomes instantly easier. It's like a positive feedback loop. And to like a certain extent, everything, like every time you do something, it becomes easier to do the next thing. So that was like one of the best things that happened. Like I would go out to do yard work, and when I come home, I feel like doing other things that are like productive, like not just like organizing my whatever desk or something like that. It would be like actually good things. And then the next thing was accountability, because I actually had like a coach, and now I have a teacher, and I also found a friend, shout out to Mike, who's in the same program as me. But the thing is, like, I tell these people, like, and I ask them questions, I use their time, for my development, and I'm like, if I give up, if I like, if I don't put in the work, then I'm disappointing not only myself but them. Like they invested their time and effort into me, and so that's a really good thing, having other people like hold you accountable. So what's next? And then the next thing was like self accountability. So basically I just want to like stop doing yard work, and I want to move out of my mom's house. And so like having those kind of like basically I know that if I don't do something right now, then like tomorrow, I'm nowhere near to moving out. And obviously I'd kind of want to move out of my mom's house before I'm like 50 or whatever. So yeah, that's also a big motivator. But just the biggest thing, I already said it, was the commitment. Like once I invested in that course, and then I asked questions and stuff to the guy who runs the course, and like now I feel like he probably doesn't even remember my name or anything, but now I feel like if I were to stop making progress, he might be like upset or something, because he answered my questions. He's helped me already. Yeah, so I'm saying it doesn't really matter what you commit to, though. It's just like you have to commit to something and then stop thinking about it. Like uh if you commit to something and then start thinking about it, like you could commit to like I want to be a astronaut, and then you start thinking about it, you're like, oh, that's not really realistic. Like, whatever. How the hell do I even do this? Like, okay, like other stuff. You could think about like how you might be worried about it. That's a sign of inaction, okay? Because when you're taking action, you can't think. You're thinking about what you're doing. So that's kind of the goal with action, is to like or that's part of it, is to stop like thinking about the things that you shouldn't be thinking about, because they're just gonna like inspire you to take a break and sit in your bed and be like, God, I don't know if this is gonna work. Like, you should be taking action, and if things start crumbling, then you can maybe reconsider. uh but yeah, and then yeah, just reiterating, don't sit down and think about stuff. Basically, there's some quote that's like, all of man's problem come from uh their inability to sit in a room alone and think, or something like that. But basically, yeah, you just can't think about stuff. You have to do a lot more than you think, okay? So now I'm going to talk about like the difficulty in taking action and how you can do it. So basically, taking action is hard. It's like thinking is like so fucking easy. Obviously, everyone does it like all day. Most people do it too much. And then taking action is actually hard. So one of the things is just fear. Like, I fear every time I start working. Like every morning when I like start working, I'm fearful. Basically, I'm like, holy shit, like what am I gonna do? Like, how am I gonna make sure I do good work today? Like, I don't think I can do good work. And then, in a week, like, am I gonna be where I want to be? Like, is something gonna go badly wrong? So there's just all this fear, and honestly, it goes away fucking as soon as I start like working. Okay. So yeah, it may feel like directionlessness. Like some days I'll like not know what to do when there is like something I could do. I just like feel directionless because I don't have like a clear thing to do. So anxiety of the future, low confidence, all this kind of stuff manifests in like when you think about taking action. So what you need is discipline to overcome that. So basically you have to train your discipline. Like something I noticed for myself is like, since I already trained my discipline a lot, like I would work out all the time, fast, and like just do all this stuff to like strengthen my discipline, but I wasn't using it for anything. Like I was like, whatever, working out, like doing all this stuff in the morning, and then like in the like afterwards, like after I've done all my morning routine, I would have like nothing really to work on, and I would kind of just sit there and like, do busy work, and it was like pointless. But now I have that same discipline, and now I actually have a direction, so I can work like 12 hours a day, just because like, I already have that foundation built. So that's a really good thing. You'll either have it or you won't, and if you don't, then you just got to build it up. But it's not too bad, honestly. It's nice to have discipline. And then oh yeah, I was gonna say the best way to train your discipline is just taking care of your health, because that's hard. Like going for a run, fucking, not eating junk food, like all that stuff is hard. And then on top of it, when you actually have good health, then you can like work and think better, and like, your body's healthier in your brain. So that's the best way to go about it. You can also take cold showers. That is like something I'm not to that level yet of like taking a cold shower every day. But that's a great way to develop discipline, and it's kind of healthy. It's like less returns than working out. But it still provides some benefits, so it's a great thing to do if you're serious about building your discipline. Yeah. And then the last thing I was gonna say regarding like how to take action is it's just like when you start taking action, all your fear goes away, and as long as you have enough discipline left in your tank for that day, then you'll fucking stop worrying about it. You'll just like get into the flow state, and you'll be able to do that thing you need to, and you'll just feel way better after you do it. So that's really like, I wanted to say the short-term benefit of taking action is you just get so much like happiness, honestly. Like I just feel way happier than I did a month ago, because even if I'm like, maybe on like a path that won't be my final path, I just feel better because I'm taking action, and I can see that like the things I'm doing are creating things, and they have results, and like stuff is moving, stuff is happening, and I've gotten out of my own head, which I think is like the most important thing. You can spend so much time like watching YouTube videos, reading books, listening to podcasts, doing all this stuff, and feel like you're learning and making progress, but you're really not. You're holding yourself back. So that's a hard thing to know, though, if you're in your head a lot. You can't really tell until you start taking action and really see that difference between like your prior self and your current self. And then I just want to talk about like the long-term benefits. So obviously, action is how fucking you make stuff happen. But there's this book called Secrets of the Millionaire Mind, which I really recommend. I'm gonna re-listen to it. It's like 3 hours audiobook, so it's cheese. But yeah, basically, he says in the book, action is the bridge between your thoughts and desires and results, or thoughts in parentheses, desires and results. So, and it's like the hardest thing because you have to build it up, you have to build the bridge. So, obviously, that's how you get results. Like, if you want something, if you're like, oh, I'm going to get rich, I don't know how, maybe I should read some more books. Like, you're never going to get there because, that's not taking action. So, you have to take action, and then results will start to happen pretty fast, especially with like your mental, where you get out of your head and you start to feel better immediately. And the last thing with action is just how much you learn, because like, even though you can read and watch all these videos and stuff, you're not really learning. You're like hearing basically, or watch or seeing. And then that stuff just goes in and out, and you don't actually like conceptualize it well. So once you start taking action, Alex Hermosi recommends, or he says that he thinks you get about 95% of your learning through action. And my coach for my web development class says that you should do about five hours of action to 1 hour of learning. So basically, if you want to learn stuff, you just have to take action, and it doesn't matter what you do. Just like pick something that you think might be like sort of constructive and just do it, and you feel better. Like, I could sit around like the whole weekend thinking like, God, should I build this website? Like, I don't know. It seems like it might not be a good idea. Like, it might not be that useful for the future. And what if I don't even learn that much? And instead, I literally built the website like yesterday and this morning. I've already fucking like done the entire thing. And like I'm literally way farther than I would have been if I hadn't taken action. So yeah, I hope this video wasn't too obvious. I hope you actually learned something from it. This is like kind of like a paradigm shift for me. Like, I feel like my life has changed so much since I started like sort of taking action and getting into that flow state. For some reason, I wasn't getting the same thing with like when I was doing YouTube. I wasn't getting a lot of flow state, and I wasn't like taking on a lot of fear and like sort of growing. It didn't feel like that. So anyways, that's basically what I was trying to say is just take action, you'll feel better, and you'll fucking get there. So, yeah, again, hopefully it wasn't too obvious. Let me know what you thought in the comments below if you're starting to take action more or if you think you're not. I've been there for a long time, like probably like over a year, so I could definitely relate to that. So, thanks for watching, and have a good like rest of your. You could be watching this in the morning, the afternoon, the evening. Have a good rest of the hour. Yeah, there you go. All right, bye.